Too tight.
Are we ready?
All right. Okay, we're going to call this happy meeting to order and start off with an invocation by Commissioner Linda Thompson. Then the Pledge of Allegiance.
Gracious God, we come before you recognizing that we're all unique individuals with different perspectives and opinions. We ask for your grace to unite us in your harmony and understanding. Help us to listen to one another with open hearts and mind, valuing each person's contribution. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, and Carly, if you can call the roll, please.
Nidinger?
Here.
Thomas?
Here.
Thompson?
Here.
Reed?
Here.
Penny?
Here. All right, and good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. We're going to conduct an agenda meeting. This is the agenda items we're looking at for the March 12th meeting. Then this will be followed by an administrative workshop. Going through it briefly here, we've got the no public hearings, no unfinished business. We'll have the consent agenda, which will be the minutes from February. And under new business, looks like we got an ordinance number 2024-01, which is in a short term, an ordinance of the city of South Pasadena, Florida, amending ordinance number 2023-04, the city's 2023/2024 fiscal budget. Anybody have any questions or anything on that? I think we pretty much, okay, a lot of information there. Our next item is a motion to authorize myself to execute the statewide mutual aid agreement with the state of Florida for the Division of Emergency Management. And then we've got a motion to appoint people to positions in the city. And boy, do I have some great ideas this year. And then a motion to appoint a vice mayor. Everybody's in agreement with these agenda items? No further discussion needed at this point. All right. Well, then these are good to go, and we will adjourn this meeting and head down to our workshop. Loosened it, yeah, exactly. Almost there. Right. Okay. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and call this workshop to order and ask Carly just to go through the roll one more time.
Nidinger?
Here.
Thomas?
Here.
Thompson?
Here.
Reed?
Here.
Penny?
Here. All right, first item for discussion today is proposed park regulations. This sounds interesting.
Sean, do you want me to come down also, or do you want?
If you want.
Yeah,
Whichever.
double team us.
You gotta be down here for quite a minute. Thank
Two of you.
you. Oh, sorry, any new stuff?
Thank you.
Good morning, all. Again.
No? Nobody's interested? Okay. That's true. They changed it. Okay. Good morning. You get to come down here.
Different point of view for you.
I know. All right.
Better looking down here than up there.
Oh, yeah, the lighting's better down here.
I know.
Lighting's good.
Yeah, here, you have to do this.
You better watch it.
Do you want to start and I'll chime in a little bit?
Yeah, well, good morning all. Yeah, these, me and Carly and legal worked on these a little bit, actually mostly legal, but love them. But we really never had rules for the park. So these here will give us a little bit of teeth on removing stuff from the park and, you know, especially with the boats and everything being out there and whatever it may be, you know, but it just leaves us some teeth to remove.
Been getting out of hand for years now.
Yeah, yes, and, you know, then we could put the, you know, the sheriffs on them right away if it's something that needed to be that, and, but it's something that needed to get done, because we really didn't have anything.
So this establishes some kind of basic ground rules for use of the park, hours of operation, things that are allowed and not allowed. It does, like Sean said, give us the ability to enforce some things where right now, if something is left in the park, the sheriff's office was having a difficult time kind of being able to take things out, because it doesn't say that you can't leave stuff there, which you'd think would be common sense, but we need it written. So we did go ahead and put just some kind of general policies in place, including that stuff left is considered abandoned and we're gonna take it. And, you know, prohibiting sale of products and whatnot. So most of what's in here specifically for the park policies is very kind of general, what you would expect for a public park, permitted uses and whatnot. The other section that's added in here, because it does kind of play off of policies for the parks, is on page 3, which is amending our current policies related to mooring of watercraft. Because right now in our code, it says that mooring on city property, including seawalls, is basically permitted unless there is a sign posted that says mooring prohibited, which we do not have those signs up. So we were looking at first into, do we put up these signs along our seawalls, but then wanting to maintain, basically, you know, these are waterfront parks. You don't necessarily want to dot them with, you know, signs. And so we kind of were thinking about it, and there's really not ever a reason or a time where we would want mooring on our seawalls to be permitted. So instead of putting the signs up, we are modifying the code to completely prohibit the mooring of watercraft on city property. So so in that section, the 193-11, it's basically striking any language that would allow for any mooring of watercraft on city seawalls. So.
What is Captain Anderson?
That's still called that?
That's what the contract is all under. That's
Okay.
the Starlight
I wondered,
Princess.
but I
So
just was like,
Yeah, I think that was a long
Yeah.
time ago, but that's the name of it.
they have an exception in here, and so that is an existing exception that will continue forward because the city has an arrangement with them. But this will help with the enforcement of things where, like, someone is, for example, tying off a dinghy on the seawall. Right now, the sheriff's office is having a difficult time enforcing that can't happen.
Are you still finding bags of trash out there?
They're at least putting them in the garbage cans now, so.
That garbage scour out there that just looks like it's a boat piled full of garbage. I mean,
which one?
But the one's
There
really
is
bad. It's
one.
like it's like the guy's a hoarder
Got
that lives
stuff
on his
hanging
boat, yeah.
off the
Well, I
sides.
noticed
The one with the
that-
dog?
Yeah, you can't
I don't
see
even,
it.
I don't know if there's a dog on there or
There's
not.
like a
I have no
chihuahua
idea.
one.
Oh, I have no
You
idea.
wouldn't see a chihuahua in
That's
that.
been-
Not
well,
on
I
this
got-
one.
Whenever I take the boat out, we kind of more zip around there and check it out. There's a guy with a chihuahua.
Oh, geez.
And then there's one boat that, I mean,
I
he
noticed
collects bumpers, fenders.
Yeah, that's the one we're talking, yeah,
Yeah.
that's bad.
I
That's
noticed
bad.
it
I'm
says
surprised
here
it's
on-
still floating.
On page 4 that our city code inspector is in this process. Has she?
I knew that was coming.
How's she gonna do it without a boat?
So that's
Kayak.
prior language that relates to our prohibition on mooring, like, out in the water, because we have maintained a prohibition on mooring for longer than 72 hours for liveaboards. Now, we know that that is a complicated issue because the boats out there do not meet the state definition of a liveaboard, so our enforcement there is difficult. However, if someone were to meet the definition of a liveaboard, we do have an enforcement process for that, and we would work with the sheriff's office to
And
do
that's not
that.
changing. The only thing that's
And that's not changing.
I just want to
That's
make that
just
clear for the record. The only, we can't-
existing language that was there.
Not for that part.
No,
We
Not for
should
that
leave
section.
that part of it the way it's drafted in order to avoid any issues relating to state
It doesn't
law.
go in
Yeah.
in converse with the state. Yeah.
But I was comfortable that we could go ahead and just put in the provision that says no mooring on our seawalls. Since we have that, there's something in state law that prohibits it. We just put an imposition on ourselves related to the signage.
And
Does
they
that
have
include
done
their-
that before.
I'm sorry?
They have done that before.
Yes,
They came over and
they-
tied off to our
it's-
seawall
it
there.
happens,
Because
yeah.
it's right across the road from us. We can walk it.
So, I mean, if they bring their little boats to get, you know, so
The
they
dinghy.
can go on land, do they moor those on the seawall?
They're tying them to the seawalls.
Ah,
yeah.
okay.
And our code
But they can
only
anchor
prohibits
out
that if it's, there's
further out, right?
signage.
They could anchor out and then somehow get to land.
Yeah, okay.
But we can at least this way keep things from being tied.
Yeah.
We can anchor right by the
What a
wall and use a
nightmare.
pole to pull ourselves over and get on, and then use a pole to get back on.
So, I mean, there's always
we've
ways
done this.
around.
I was gonna say, let's not give suggestions. Let's
Oh,
not.
Yeah, right.
Trust me.
Let's not.
Yeah,
But,
Yeah, yeah.
They
but
will
at the
figure
very
it
least,
out.
at least that way it is, the city property is
enforcement.
maintained clear. And that's sort of the goal here is that it's maintaining city property because people
That's
were
good.
leaving them like all day. And so they're just sitting there.
Yeah.
And, we just.
So this, on page 2, 81-4, that would pretty much cover people leaving their bicycles permanently in the bike rack?
Yes.
Okay.
Which has
I mean,
been
that's-
another
so
thing
that's
we're
the
trying to
biggest
get
complaint
rid
I
of,
get from
yes.
a lot of people.
Yep.
They ride over there to go use the park, and there's nowhere they can put their bike
Uh-huh.
because there's this bike that's rusted sitting there.
It's gone.
Yep.
Yeah, sitting there in those
It's gone.
racks.
Yeah.
So, but is there you just can't do it. So there's not a specific time. It's just if it's there after dark, it can be taken away the next morning,
Correct.
basically.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. Okay. And alcohol is prohibited
Mm-hmm.
since, selling.
We never really had even that, huh? Alcohol prohibited?
I mean, there's a general alcohol use policy elsewhere, but this is just safer to put it in
Okay.
at the parks.
Yes.
Just so
yes.
it's all in one place and clear.
Okay, and
So-
basically on page 3, the 193-11, that's just stating that we have this law, but it doesn't have to be a sign. It's-
Correct.
it's
So
just-
everything in 193-11 that you see there was there before. We're not adding anything. All we're doing is striking through anything that would have allowed someone to have moored previously. So what will be in the code after this is language that was currently there. We're just taking out
Yeah.
sections that said you could leave it for 12 hours. You can moor anywhere that there's not a sign. We just taking out, the parts about signs. So it
Right.
says, it's unlawful to tie off, blah, 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 where it's posted. We're just removing the where it's posted. So now it's just, it is unlawful to do this.
So we don't have signs
Period.
up and down the
But
park.
they have to
you
be
don't
notified
want
of it,
that.
but they don't have to see a sign, because the officer can say, you can't.
So now, does this get distributed to the people on the boats out there? Or,
We're not
we'll be-
legally obligated to do it
Yeah,
that way.
we'll be
once we
notifying the
adopt it.
sheriff's office and maybe
What?
they can let
We're not
them know.
obligated to, but, certainly you can, you can, if you would like to, maybe do a one-pager and let them know, but
Take it out door to door on my kayak.
There you
there you
go.
go, I love it.
Do they get fined if they come in and they, show up?
Like if they were to do this?
Yeah.
No, we'd take the boat.
Oh, you take the boat.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I love it.
Trespass them.
That's
Oh,
the
yeah.
goal.
They can.
Hey, you're hoping they do say you get a bigger boat, right?
No, I am boatless now, and it's really not
Isn't
that
it
bad.
great? I love it.
It's good and bad.
What about the bathroom situation? Is that been better?
Yeah, because the door's locked.
Yeah. So you haven't, no, I meant, did you
So is it
know
more of a
complaint?
storage?
No, knock on.
Is it a storage area now?
Yeah,
It's a coat closet.
but yeah, knock on wood. No, we have not heard a complaint
And do
about
we need
that
to
at
change
all.
the signs from men and women to storage? Or
We can.
just so we don't
that
have any
easy.
kind of issues?
I
would
think you
that would be a
should,
good idea.
because people think it's a restroom. You should-
Yeah,
I
I'm
think you should
totally
change
fine
it.
with that.
Well, you do open it though, like for the.
Oh, our
for
events
the-
we do,
for our
yeah.
events.
Our events will have it
I
open.
think her idea is best, just take the signs down.
Mm-hmm.
You can put them up when we want them, just take,
Temporary
take
ones
them
up
down.
for-
Yeah, we'll just take
Doesn't
the,
designate what it is.
take 'em
but it
down.
could be-
And nobody's complained.
Haven't heard a word.
Okay, okay. And just a little information, the Captain Anderson is actually a restaurant in Panama City Beach. It's a long-time family restaurant. They're very good if you ever go up there. It's owned by.
Picking up the tab?
It's owned by a kind of familiar name, the Petronas family. So Jimmy's one of the sons, and, but it's been there a long time. You
So
really gotta try
actually,
it
the
if you go.
one down here is
It's their
registered as
boat, yeah, they have a
Captain
dinner
Anderson.
boat there, and it comes here.
Oh.
Well, I don't know if it still comes here anymore, but it used to come down here.
I remember,
Like,
yeah.
remember that.
Yeah, so. they
No,
used to go
this
back
is
and forth.
great. Gotta do it.
So if you all are comfortable with this, I'd like to go ahead and get your approval to put it on for next week for first reading so that we can get this on the books, if that's possible.
Absolutely.
For me.
Okay, great. All right. Thank you very much.
Right.
So this-
Thank you.
Thank you.
She talks way better than I do.
So we
You're okay.
Next.
Move this over to here.
Good, any other questions? We can, not here. Thank you.
No question. There's a,
I appreciate that.
there's a form.
Like the,
The next item is the
Thank you.
statewide mutual aid agreement. Anybody speaking on that? Okay. Good morning.
Good morning. So this is something that we have been a participant prior through the county, but what has changed is reimbursement will now only be possible through the online portal. No more paper or email submissions for reimbursement. So we send, if usually the request comes in through the county or a group that's assigned by the county to coordinate these requests. The last example, like when we went, is we put together a joint engine to go up to Hurricane Michael. So TI, us, Madeira Beach, help staff one unit, send it up there. And then we would request payment, back pay for that person who went and assisted, and then also backfill to pay the person who fills their spot here. Does that make sense? So we have an employee gone to help with a disaster, he's paid, and then whoever fills that spot is paid. But since it's now only through the online portal for reimbursement, should we send someone, we would need, in order to be paid, we would need to be a part of this agreement. So as a city, we sign the agreement. We're not obligated to send anybody. It's simply a request. If we choose to do so, then we are eligible for reimbursement. If we don't have the staffing at that time to send someone, we simply do not. So it's not an automatic, it's a mutual aid agreement. So we do have a say in when and where we go.
So strictly just to give us money back.
If we
If
choose to
we choose to
assist, yes,
participate.
correct.
Sounds like a very easy process.
Yeah.
Online, instead of having to send something in.
Right.
Yeah, and I know the last time we did this, it probably, and maybe Jim could confirm, but it seemed like it took a couple years to get paid back. This is supposed to be a more transparent process where we can check on our submission, make sure, and they also, with this new system, they have deadlines they have to meet as far as turning things around. So it's supposed to be a much quicker system.
Did we only ever send somebody for Hurricane Michael? I remember
I
that
believe
one.
so, yeah. We've had requests for South Florida for brush fires before, but we weren't able. You know, the person usually has to be able to commit to 10 to 14 days. Sometimes they are shorter, but you have to be able to commit to that long to go, yep, in case you're there that long. And then also, I did see where we're required to send in a signed copy and also the minutes of the meeting where it's adopted. So I would assume that would be part of this, and we'll get it. I've already submitted for approval for an account, and I have that. So once we get that, I'll submit it to the state and get us on that list.
So, should we add well, I guess we're gonna approve it next week. I'm trying to think, if you gotta wait for the approved minutes, you're gonna wait another month before the meeting.
I think we'll be okay. Unless there's a hurricane or a brush fire in the very near future. Will it be
Probably a
that
good
long to
time
turn
do
around?
that.
I'm sorry, what was the question?
Well, we were talking about, he said they had to send in a copy of the application along with the minutes, for approved minutes. So I was like, well, you know, if we vote on it next week, it's gonna be another month for you to get a copy of the approved minutes.
When's it due?
But
They just said the deadline is extended. They didn't say when it's been extended.
You can send it, what I would do is if you could just send in the unadopted minutes. I would
Yeah.
probably be
Okay.
And if they need the adopted minutes, it can wait till the next meeting, but there's really no way for us to get around that
Yeah.
without setting it for a special meeting just for the purposes of adopting minutes.
Okay, so that would be the next night meeting, and then I could send them
12th,
those
yeah.
minutes and the signed
Yeah, I mean,
agreement.
I can get you unofficial minutes next week.
Perfect. Okay.
send those in, and if they shoot it back, we'll have them by then.
Okay. Yeah, great.
All right, perfect.
Thank you, guys.
Okay, another exciting part, website redesign.
All right, I'm coming back down.
We're gonna get more handouts. I like handouts.
Looks like we got visual aids.
All right, so we've been working on this a little funky looking just for scale, but just kind of go with it.
Pass it around?
Yeah.
What we just do?
You can grab one, and then I'll
Okay.
grab one.
There you go.
So this is, a proposed version of the homepage. Take this stack back.
Who's doing all this work?
I mean, I didn't build it, but I'm working with the,
No, it's
I'm
great.
working with the design team, so if y'all want any, I'm gonna see. Sure. Okay, here, there's extra stuff in the ground. I'll pass it. Okay. That's
the
Galadia.
Guard.
That's where I got married.
Yep, that's Galadia with the statue right in the middle.
And there's Tom.
Yep.
So who's that lady?
I just want to know what.
That's Patty Joe.
There's Patty Joe and a
Yeah,
lion.
those are, it's, there are some sections on here, don't read the text because it's just kind of filler jumble. And so this would be, you wouldn't see all this when you open it. This is obviously if you scroll, you know, down. The top area where that photo is will be a flipping slideshow, so that we can add photos to, so we can put in event photos from things that have passed, or we can just kind of keep a cycle of professional photos if we want to, whatever we'd like to do. And then, online services, news and announcements, calendar, welcome message. So this is sort of the, kind of draft proposal for a new layout for the website. So, brighter, a little more lighter, a little more modern.
We're missing the dolphin right out.
Well, that could be in
It'll
the
be one of the
scroll.
photos, yeah. This is just, a lot of these things are more just kind of filler photos, just to show there will be a photo here. So, yeah, we can change what the photos actually are. But,
Speaking real quick, if you guys didn't notice the new whitewashed walls on the three buildings.
where our next murals are going, they have been pressure washed and they're being primed and it's coming. We're in design meetings, so they're coming. Yep.
Would this support video embedded in it?
In what capacity?
Well, I was thinking what would be really cool is that when you go to the landing page, the first page, you have like an aerial drone shot of
It
the
can,
city.
the top can do drone, yeah.
I think that would really be.
Come in, look at the city, and then come down into the
Yeah.
city maybe, or
The
Yeah, it
top
shows
part
our,
could
shows
be
the
a
water
drone
on all
video,
sides,
yeah.
maybe even at sunset or something.
Yeah.
I don't know, just a thought.
Yeah. It does have the top does have the capability to do.
They're nice if too many people move here.
Well, we only got limited resources to put it.
And what about like meetings? Will this support repeating the meetings, or we haven't thought about that yet?
So I'm working with our IT vendor for in here. That's part of why this all hasn't happened yet. Is there's some complications going on with Spectrum, with our current setup. Our current setup, we broadcast on our Spectrum government channel, and we just pay a normal monthly for like our box and whatnot. Basically, once that technology kind of dies on us and we have to replace it, there's going to be some pretty significant increased costs with Spectrum, some pretty big increased fees. So that's part of why we haven't changed yet, because if we change, it's going to cost us a lot. Not just to replace our stuff here, but to completely change our arrangement with Spectrum. It's like $1,200 a month for some of this new stuff. So we're trying to kind of figure out the best way to move forward.
You know?
How much is that?
A couple $100, I think. like a normal cable bill, basically. We basically have a normal cable bill.
Do you get a lot of requests for copies of the meetings anymore?
No, we post them on YouTube.
Yeah.
So really, I mean, we still offer DVDs if people want their own copy, but they're posted on YouTube. So really, it's the live option that we're kind of figuring out what we're gonna do long term. Yeah, like broadcasting, and if we were to try to stream it, like through the website or something,
I
the
guess we
costs for
have no
that are
choice
pretty
but Spectrum,
substantial.
right? In our city.
Can't you live stream on YouTube?
This is some of what we're looking into, but then also how does that work in terms of, is that accessible enough to where we only live stream on YouTube and no longer have the government channel because it's going to cost so much? We're trying to figure out what to do with that because the technology change is not working in our favor financially. So that's a complicated question at the moment, I guess.
Well, and they keep raising. I mean, we just got another hit on Spectrum. I mean, it's ridiculous. Every couple of months they knock up another $10, $15. It's crazy.
So, and a lot of the technology that we're kind of being told, well, if you want to do X, Y, and Z, you need a person that's actively managing it as it's happening, which, when we have meetings and whatnot, staff gets it going, and then we're in the meetings with you all. I'm not, switching, I'm not,
Sitting in a booth.
I'm not,
checking.
I'm not,
Right.
and so, but they're basically saying if you're gonna go that direction, you need a dedicated, so we're kind of trying to weigh out what our options are at the moment, so. We just hope nothing dies terribly soon. We just need the cable box to not die right now.
Well, we have our technical wizard, Virginia, right?
She, I tell you, if anybody knows this equipment, it's Virginia. She is a godsend with that. She's very good with this stuff, very good with it, but.
What are we
it looks
thinking
good.
about a final deadline on you getting done?
It'll depend on how much content we want to change. The redesign includes them moving over our current content from the existing website to here, but then likely we'll be going through kind of by department by department and sort of making some updates and whatnot because the website should be a little more user-friendly. So it really is going to depend. It's a couple months probably. So,
Good.
but just wanted to make sure we were going in a direction
Yeah,
that
no,
you all
it's
were
great.
happy with. So, are we good with it?
I like it.
Yeah, ours, yeah.
Great.
I like fresh and new.
Yeah, that's what we're going for. We're going for fresh and new. So, all right.
All right.
Thank you very much. I don't know that I come back down again. We'll see.
All right, our next item, looks like Linda's article, the About Town newsletter. Hope everybody got a chance to read it at the back. We've noticed this place and just haven't made it in. Love brittle, and I've heard they've got great brittle.
They
so.
do. And they are so nice. You go in and they give you samples. They got them in little cups and you can try out the different ones.
Is that where the pharmacy was?
Yeah,
Call it
the
that.
kind of
Is
the
it right
health
at the-
pharmacy,
Is it
right.
right at the end there, that one shop?
Yeah.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
where the pharmacy was. Okay.
Well, I can tell you, one of my weekly football parties, one of my neighbors brought a huge selection of this stuff. And I told them they're not allowed to bring it again. Because it is that good.
It is,
It
it
is
is.
really, really good.
Couldn't stop eating it, right?
Yeah.
They seem like very nice people too.
She gave our Pasadena Cove a bunch of 15% off if you bought stuff. So,
I'll advertise in the newsletters at the condos.
And they do it all right
Yeah.
there, huh?
yes, I messed up there with my thumb print there.
I see
Harley's
it.
bought
I see it. That's great.
Everybody okay with this going
Oh, yeah.
going out?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think it's great that Linda takes the time to highlight these businesses too. It's really,
Because you almost wouldn't know it was there.
yeah.
I know.
I mean, if you just happen to go by. So, no,
All
this
the
is
lights
great.
on the other place next door.
Oh, I know.
Stop in, get your weed, and go get some brittles.
That guy, he rented 3 spots.
I mean, come on.
I was trying not to say that, Tom.
As our attorney laughs at our bizarrities. Oh, God.
Are you sure you want a live stream?
It's recorded. Okay.
I'm gonna open up a potato chip store next door.
All right, so we're all good with that, and it's a good article. All right. Well, the next, of course, is our annual commission department assignments. And as usual, I have some recommendations I'd like to put out to all of you before we go any further with it. And I keep a spreadsheet to kind of track how long everybody's been in different departments and just to make sure people aren't stuck back and forth and that kind of thing. So currently, as we all know, Tom's public safety, Linda's in finance, Ben's in CID, and Gail's in public works. I would like to see next year for Tom, because he's been 2 years in 2 different departments, to go to public works. I'd like to see Linda go to CID, community improvement, Ben to finance, and then Gail to public safety. And my choice for Gail for public safety, I must say, is kind of leading back to our years of building the fire station. She was very initial in that. We know it's going to be dedicated this year, and I'd like to see her head of public safety for that initiation and for the inaugural event.
Good.
Very instrumental in getting that thing started back in the day. I had Max and several others. So if everybody is fine with that, we'll just have Carly set everything up for the vote next week.
Sounds good.
Okay. We're really not discussing the vice mayor position today, but I have my thoughts, and you guys will hear my decision next week. So
Oh, he's gonna keep us in suspense.
Surprise, huh?
we'll go from there. So does anyone else have anything they'd like to speak about today?
If
Yes.
I could, if you recall, I let you all know that we had our request for relief hearing on the Causeway Village matter last week. I don't want to get into the details, obviously, here of where we left it, but I just wanted to let y'all know, we put it in abatement. Some issues came up during the hearing that I wanted to go back and research. So I'm in the process of doing that. And what I would like to do after I have completed my research, I'm also going to be out of town next week, is the following week I'm going to schedule meetings with y'all individually and let you know where my thought process is in on this. So I wanted to make sure that whatever I'm going forward with is something that I can look at you all and say legally this is the right place for us to be. So I do want to just let you know that, just in case you hear it out in the community. Would always encourage you, since this is a pre-litigation matter, not to talk about it, but just wanted you to know that we did abate it and allowing me the opportunity to research some items. And not next week, but the following week, I'll be, not necessarily
What's
bad.
a bait?
What's a bait? Just
it's for the
put it on
meetings.
hold, sorry.
Okay.
We just put it on hold.
Okay.
Yes, I'm sorry. Throw out the legal words. But yeah, we'll just put it on hold and allow me to do some research, and then I'm gonna go, like I said, when I get back from being out of town next week with spring break for my kids. So I'll find some time to get with y'all individually and speak with you.
Oh, you have to do it on an individual basis?
Yeah, well, because this is a pre-litigation matter, but it is not something that we can go into a closed session on, I don't have an option except to speak with you individually.
We can do that.
Very good, thank you. Or we don't violate the sunshine law, you know, that little, those are the things that I try and avoid.
All right, anybody else? Anybody in the audience? No? Okay, give you a chance. All right, well then we are going to adjourn. Super. Everyone have an awesome day. Thank you very much.
Thank you.